If I had to describe this episode with three words, I would say passion, a sense of perfection, and guilt. Because when you see what this entire episode represents, it really is those three words. I mean, we have a sense of passion at the beginning with Yor getting into the whole, I am the wife of, Lloyd, and I need to do what I need to do to prove that I am actually in a relationship with him. So her taking it upon herself and trying to kiss him goes along with that emotion of passion. Sense of perfection. You could kind of, make the entire episode about that concept of both individuals, Lloyd and also Yor, wanting to be the perfect couple. For instance, Lloyd to be the perfect, husband and also the perfect father, while Yor as well wants to be the perfect mother and the perfect wife. Then guilt as well. You have guilt with different forms of guilt, actually, with Yor feeling guilty that she is not up to the standards of what a wife should be, and you have Lloyd feeling guilt because he had any sense of doubt towards Yor in the first place, and he feels very guilty towards the end, even if he doesn't actually directly say that to Yor or anyone else. We, the audience, understand the emotion that he actually was feeling. So it's a very beautiful episode. Like, if we just get down to the main point of what the episode was, it's a great episode to really show a lot of development and growth amongst Yor and Lloyd mainly, and I appreciate that. So let's just talk about the beginning sequence, because I think everybody is going to be talking about, the Lloyd Yor kiss scene because it's absolutely funny, beautiful, and lewd to a certain extent. Like, can we talk about the comedic timing of, just the opening song playing when Yor's going in for the kiss, and you just hear the explosion of the opening song? It's funny because you can interpret that entire sequence in different ways. I'm not going to go into detail because YouTube would probably demonetize the video, but I think you guys can draw your own conclusion, and I just think that was very intentional. It's very clear by the way the animators did that scene. It was very intentional, and I think that, it definitely drew a lot of laughs probably with those that were working on it for this episode when they were piecing the entire scenes together. So let's talk about the actual brother, Yuri, Yor, and just how Yuri is kind of like this force within Spy Family and how he could potentially cause problems for the future. So we all know when it comes to like romance series, slice of life series, or whatever, you usually have like an individual part of one person's family that is very attached. Like either they're a sis-con, brother-con, or, maybe it's the father or mother or whatever that are like, really protective over, their daughter or son or whatever. And obviously Yuri is that type of character to kind of fill in that mold, fill in that spot where, usually you have that family member character that is very protective, overly protective of their family member. And so that's Yuri's overall role. Obviously, it's mixed up a little bit with him being a part of the secret police, and because of him being a part of the secret police, it adds this different layer of where, Lloyd's going to have to put on these airs that, he's really, really fond of Yuri being around. He can come into their house anytime they want, but obviously deep inside of Lloyd's mind, he is probably sweating. He's worried because of any form of, bugs and stuff that is put inside of the house to be able to spy in on conversations and be able to watch whatever Lloyd is doing. And so because of that, it can lead to a lot of worry. It can lead to plot twists and many different turns and twists and drama depending on how Yuri and Lloyd's relationship goes forward. But it doesn't just stop there. I mean, we got to think about the long term of what this means, okay, with, Yuri being a part of the secret police. Let's just say that Lloyd and Yuri, they hit it off. They become the best of friends. They potentially go on travel trips together or whatever. They just become really good friends as, the anime continues to have episodes coming out and also in the manga. And as they continue to be great friends and growing more bonded, obviously Lloyd is putting on this sense of fakeness. We know it's a facade. Yes, he might be kind of slowly falling for his own facade, his lies, but at the end of the day, he is playing a role. And obviously Yuri, he's trying to play a role as well, but he is definitely more outspoken and willing to reveal his cards than others. And so when you actually see, him potentially getting fond of Lloyd and calling him a good man like he did in this episode, it makes you wonder if the truth ever does come out. Like, if the secret is revealed. Like, if Yuri finds out that Lloyd is, a spy, he is Twilight, etc., what's going to happen? Because we can see clearly that one of the things that's very important to Yuri as a character is definitely his sister. That is the one thing that is the most important to him. I think if he had to put, like, his job or his sister on, like, a choice decision, he would choose his sister in a heartbeat. He wouldn't even have to think about it. And so when I look at, the situation, if he was given a task of, I guess exposing Lloyd for who he is in Twilight, or, keeping that secret to allow Yor to have a good relationship in life, I feel like he probably would keep that secret, because most likely Yuri would be very, angry, and he would probably confront Lloyd about it, but if he finds out that Lloyd truly does care about Yor, and Yor cares about him, he probably would be willing to just let that secret slide. So it does lead to some interesting twists and turns. I mean, it could be a thought of betrayal as well. I am curious on the direction the story wants to take that in the future. Now, anyways, let's actually talk about Lloyd and what he did. So obviously, Lloyd felt guilty in this episode, and I already kind of slightly talked about that at the beginning of this video, and the reason for that is because obviously Lloyd was spying in on Yor. He felt suspicious that, she might have known that her brother was a part of the secret police, and that she had special privileges, etc., and so because of that, he was very worried that, maybe the person that he's been in a relationship with for over a year now is someone that they haven't been saying who they are. For instance, she might be a spy, etc. Now, we know the truth that, Yor is an assassin, she isn't like a spy, and she definitely isn't working with the secret police. She's working with something maybe more sinister. We don't really know the full extent of everything. But the point doesn't change that, he was suspicious, and he didn't find anything out, and he felt incredibly guilty because it's clear that Yor does care about the relationship. Yor wants positivity, and she wants the best for, Lloyd and Anya for the future. So it's a very sad moment when, Lloyd starts to realize just how much he's putting her through that day. Like when he puts on the act to be the secret police, and, he interrogates her, etc. It makes it a very emotional moment, because you can see that Lloyd starts to realize how guilty he feels, and when he takes off the mask, you don't really see his face. It doesn't really try to show you anything. You can see that he feels awful for what he is actually doing in that moment. And so when he crushes the bug and throws it into the trash and all that, it also shows once again how guilty he feels. And the very facade, the lies he's been telling, for instance, that, he's a part of a fake family, he is slowly becoming very fond of this family and actually viewing it as a real family. And I like the messages of what this series is, because I feel like, a lot of different stories, they like to say you can only be family if you're blood related, but I feel like anyone can be family. If you're close enough and, you have a bond, you work together, and you help each other out through hardships and hurdles, you're pretty much family at that point. It's like how people consider animals their family. Like if you have a dog, cat, or whatever, you view them as your own family members. So I think that just everything about this episode is very good, and it does a really good job with elevating these characters to a different level and put them in a circumstance or a situation that we haven't really seen yet from the anime. So yeah, it's a good episode. Just straight up, it's a good episode of Spy Family. Now, before I wrap up this video, though, I just want to say, though, that, man, this series is just so good. Like, the extra level of detail that is constantly put into this with the art, the animation, etc., it's just incredible. Like, I can never get enough of just how much effort and love and passion that Wit Studios and, Cloverworks Studios is putting into this series, because it really is a beautiful anime. I think nobody can deny that. I mean, there's a lot of good, just beauty in the animation and art, to just the way the plot is written, the script writers, etc. It's a good show. It's a really good show. And I'm looking forward to the next episode, because it looks like we're going to get more back into Anya stuff with her and, Damien. I think that's going to be really cool, because, I mean, obviously Anya's entire segment with Damien is just leading into some funny stuff. I mean, Damien kind of like falling for Anya at first punch. Just everything about that's just funny. I cannot wait. I legitimately cannot wait for more Anya content next week. So just it can't get here soon enough. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up this video here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. If you have watched to this extent, thank you. Leave me a like if you want to leave me a like. If I brought you any form of entertainment or joy or whatever, please do so. But that, guys, be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.